Yo, what's up, everybody? Patrick from Dual Dimension.
DJ from Dual Dimensions.
And we are coming to you today with the Eldritch Onslaught deck from the new Magic the Gathering series. The colors of this deck are blue-red. You get 13 islands and 11 mountains inside of this deck. And basically the goal of the deck, a lot of these cards have rebound, so you're going to be discarding your own deck and discarding your spells just so that you can use them later. So this deck is kind of confusing, and you need to kind of know what you're doing to play. So to start off, you're going to end up getting 3 deranged assistants in the deck. They cost 2 each, and they are 1/1 creatures that you can tap. You put the top card of your deck in the graveyard, and you get 1 mana, 1 colorless mana out of that. Gold Caller's Bell, you're going to pay 1, and when you tap it, each player discards the top card of their deck. You're going to get 3 Dream Twists, which I find annoying. A little bit. They're basically the same thing as Tomb Scour, but Tomb Scour is a little OP. But your Dream Twists are going to cost 1 blue each, and your opponent's going to discard the top 3, and they rebound the flashback for 2. Charmbreaker Devils, going to pay 6 for a 4/4, and at the beginning of your upkeep, you can take an instant or sorcery at random from your graveyard and put it in your hand. And then whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, the Charmbreaker Devils get +4/0 until the end of the turn. You're going to pay 5 for a 3/3 Scourge of Gyre Mist, or Reach.
Oh, is it Peach?
No. It's like an elephant on fire.
Dude, I'm dyslexic, leave me alone.
It's going to get a +1/+1 for each creature your opponent controls. Usually cards like that are really good, but you're paying 5 mana for this, so you're going to get it like late game. And your opponents would usually have a lot of creatures on the field, so you're basically paying 5 for a 3/3, which I would never do, ever. So, also gonna get 2 Murder of Crows. Gonna pay 5, 4/4 flying, and whenever a creature dies, you get to draw 1 card from your deck, but if you do, then you have to discard 1 card also. And also, you're gonna have Pitchburn Devils right here. You're gonna be paying 5 for that. 3/3, and when it dies, it'll deal 3 damage to target creature or player. DJ.
Alright, got 2 armored Scabs, whatever this is.
They're zombies.
Yeah, they're zombies, so it doesn't really matter. 3, when it enters the battlefield, you put the top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard, and it's a 1/4. Got them into the Maw of Hell. It's a nice 6 there. Sorcery destroy target land, and into the maw deals 13 damage to target creature. Grasp of Phantoms, which is pretty much like almost every other blue card that has ever existed. Cost 4, put target creature on top of its owner's library, got a flashback for 8. Got a Rolling Tremblor. Tremblor. Cost 3, Rolling Tremblor deals 2 damage to each creature without flying, and it's got a 6 flashback. Burning Vengeance 3, it's an enchantment. When you cast a spell from your graveyard, Porting Pedage deals 2 damage to target creature or player. Harvest Pyre 2, I think, if I read that correctly, yeah. As an additional cost, harvest exile X amount of cards from your graveyard, and it deals X damage to target creature. 2 Desperate Ravings, cost 2. Draw 2 cards and discard a hand at random. Flashback for 2, but on this one, the flashback, one of the mana has to be an island, which is kind of interesting. Think Twice should be 2. Draw a card, flashback or 2, nothing weird there. Guy's Flame 1. 1 damage to anything. Flashback for 4. Silent Departure 1. Return target creature to owner's hand. Flashback for 5. And 2 Forest Crabs. I keep putting it on the wrong side of the camera. My bad. 4, 1/6, nothing special about it, just a normal creature. Pretty much, in all honesty, if you look at this deck from a statistical standpoint, it's actually very well together because this deck has a lot of synergy for a starter deck, if you really think about it. But when you look at its strategy, it's kind of, unless you're running a lot of like some of these cards. Also, you're gonna get inside the deck a Merfolk Mesmerist, which you're gonna pay 2 for a 1/2, and whenever you pay 1 island and tap it, they're gonna discard the top 2. You're also gonna get a Sturmgeist, which his power and toughness is equal to the number of cards inside of your hand, and he's a flying.
and you're paying 5 for that. But like, a lot of these cards inside of the deck are just basically a mill deck.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the only reason, in my opinion, that you would buy this deck is just for the cards like Dream Twist. Since you can only have 4 Tomb Scours in your deck anyway, just throw 4 of these in there. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, like, getting rid of a lot of your cards, unless you're going back to the Grixis set all the way back in Alara, you know, you don't really want to get rid of your own cards, especially right out of your deck before you can play them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, like Patrick said, the only reason you really would get this deck is if you're running, like, for you blue control types out there, which is pretty much anybody that runs blue. You would get this for like the Curse of the Bloody Tome, which is pretty much just, it's a 2 enchantment, and pretty much that just every time on
their upkeep they discard the top 2 cards of their deck.
Not saying it again because Patrick just said it. Really, there's no reason for you to try to discard your own cards when you could do it to the other person, because this deck only works if you use all the discard effects on yourself.
I mean, there are some, like, you could take a Stormgeist and get cards such as Mind Spring, which allow you to draw X after you pay the 2. And if you're drawing a lot of cards and you have creatures whose power and toughness is based off the
you could get a nice beat stick.
Yeah, you could get a nice beatdown deck, but other than that, like, this deck, you can basically take what it gives you and branch off into mill or giant ass creatures based on the amount of cards in your hand.
This strategy is not very plausible if you really think about it, because there's really no point, because you could just do mill or giant creatures.
Exactly. So this intro deck, I would probably give, for starters that don't really know a lot about mill decks and all that, probably a 4, because this is not very, you can't really win games with this deck. I've played with just the deck straight out the box. Can't really,
I'm actually gonna give it one more than that. I'm gonna give it a 5. I'm only giving it a 5 because of the fact that if you're just starting out in this and you're kind of leaning toward like the blue control style of gameplay, and you go out and get this deck, you look at it, this is actually a decent deck to teach you, like I was saying before. It'll teach you how a deck kind of is well to put together, how you look at the cards. All the cards interact with each other. Even a lot of there are a lot of reds in here that are, like, their flashback cards require blue mana as opposed to just red. So they're very interlocked. It's just the strategy sucks. And there's no real reason for you to go out and buy a deck for just to look at it and then not use it. So
exactly, just buy booster packs.
Yeah, so just look up the cards in this deck as opposed to buying it.
Alright, so this is Patrick from Dual Dimension.
DJ from Dual Dimensions.
And subscribe. Look forward to all our new videos. We have a couple Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos coming up.
And some special guests that aren't here anymore.
Yeah, by the way, if there are going to be more people involved with Dual Dimension. We've kind of gotten a little bigger since we're doing a lot of different things.
We have a new couple branches.
Yeah, so we're going to have people doing Yu-Gi-Oh!, some Beyblade, and of course a lot more Magic is going to come up.
Yeah.
So,
we'll have other branches that you can ask for if you go and look on our new Facebook page.
And the link will be
below, down there in this little thingy.
So go ahead and like that so you can keep updated.
So,
I'm going to annotate it.
Okay, well...
And subscribe. Keep the card games alive.
Later.